response to the slanderous video made about this account and an attempt to share some of the resources and lessons learned throughout this process, especially as unfortunately similar tactics seem to be continuing. I want to be absolutely clear, this is not a call to harass or an attempt to humiliate anyone involved with the situation. Respectful doesn't have to mean positive. In fact, I think it's more important to be respectful when you are negative in a lot of ways. This account only speaks for itself. There were multiple critics with multiple motivations and multiple methods. While this account obviously interacts with others, it is not affiliated with any, as has repeatedly been explained.
There's my logo that they've stole and doctored, which was made and copyrighted by Patheos.
So another word for doctored could be transformed, which is one of the requirements for fair use.
You steal my logo and you cover it up by pretending it's a commentary site. It doesn't matter how you doctor that image. That logo is copyrighted under federal law. I've already filed claims with Twitter to get this taken down, but obviously Twitter is like in another land and they're not going to take this seriously.
Part of the reason why Twitter didn't take it seriously is that the rules actually weren't being violated, did not seem to end things, but rather escalated into threats of court.
And I am not an independent blogger that doesn't have a legal team behind me. I work for a multimedia company that has millions of dollars and that fight this type of crap every single day.
Don't have a massive legal team, but I have critical thinking skills and media literacy and a familiarity with NOLO Press, which I highly recommend. They are a great resource for all sorts of legal matters. And the TLDR from their informational uses of a trademark are permissible is that permission is not needed to use a trademark or logo if the purpose is informational, editorial, parody, and or commentary.
All of this could go to a lawsuit, but really the best thing that they could do is just take all of this down and stop the harassment. Otherwise, they will have to answer to federal lawsuits because what they've done is they've stolen a copyrighted logo and they're impersonating me.
So here's what the logo actually looked like when this video was made. There was always the universal no symbol with the diagonal line across the ball, labeled commentary, critique, and parody. The color scheme was completely inverted. Instead of being blue, it was red. There was always a disclaimer that it was not affiliated with anyone.
The logo and the handle are so similar to mine that even though it says it's a commentary one, if you did not go to this person's page, you would have no idea that this is not me, and the things that they are saying are completely not in line with the type of person that I am. They've taken my image, which is copyrighted and owned federally copyrighted by Patheos, and doctored it so it looks just a little bit different.
The logo was further transformed with using completely different crystal ball images, inverting the font so that it was text on top, script on bottom, then flipping it so that the text was on top instead of on bottom. Were crisp, solid black background, really emphasizing the NE and BallS to try to help make sure there was not confusion. Made the disclaimer larger and more graphic. Also changed what went across it to where it simply says commentary and parody. And then on the second ball, since it has always had two balls, since it's without any crystal balls, put a disclaimer that it is not impersonation, harassment, defamation, or doxing. In its most general sense, a fair use is any copying of copyrighted material done for a limited and transformative purpose, such as to comment upon, criticize, or parody a copyrighted work. Such uses can be done without permission from the copyright owner.
Trying to hide behind a parody, but they're not parodying me. If you go to this YouTube, if you go to this Twitter account, there's literally nothing parodying. All it is doing is harassing, defaming, and it's doing this as in a way of intimidation. That's not a parody. A parody is designed to like make fun of. It's like Weird Al. It's like having a good time. This is harassment and doxing.
There's never been anything doxing. If anything, the doxing has been attempted to be done to this account. And I also had put the screenshots of the rules from Twitter on the pinned tweet to start with to help try to make it very clear that users are allowed to create parody commentary accounts provided they follow the other requirements. It should clearly indicate that the user is not affiliated with the subject, which again said unaffiliated commentary. I also want to point out there were only 6 tweets when this screenshot was used in the video that I'm playing clips from.
They're also commenting on things that Steve McRae say. Steve McRae has liked comments by this thing, but it says without any crystal balls. They're saying that I defame people, that I assert my opinions and assumptions as facts.
She had tweeted about Tati the next day, saying she'd gotten 3 cease and desists, and then weeks before had, made videos and tweets about being silenced because of the cease and desists.
Because of my affiliation with Kyle, I have become the center of an attack.
Again, that right there actually shows how she is stating her opinion and assumption as a fact, because this account only discovered Steve McRae through Katie. It did interact with him, and it did feel from its research that Katie had slandered him, which she admitted to and retracted 3 months later. That was not the reason for it. She's assuming that that was the motivation based on 6 tweets. Indeed, I had far more interaction with Steve after the video came out because I did feel bad for the assumptions that were being stated as facts. Other than commenting on a tweet, I had never had any interaction with him before that.
That the people that are not affiliated with Kyle but with the other partner have now taken the time and effort to create a Gmail account with my brand's name without a crystal ball or without any crystal balls. So it says, that's a fact. This is why I love you, Nick. You don't give 2 fucks about backlash. You tell it the way it is, unapologetically. People who call you biased on J-Star's payroll can take a back seat. You will call him out on his ish when he acts a fool, but you defend him when you're not afraid. And Jeffree Star says, respect. That right there, that call out by Jeffree Star is proof. Proof. That's why they do this, because Jeffree sees them. Jeffree gives them stuff. Jeffree throws them subscribers. Jeffree gives them gifts. Nick might not have been on his payroll, but he sure is now.
Katie was representing herself as an investigative journalist, and that does not meet the threshold of proof, just as a couple of interactions on Twitter does not meet the threshold of proof that this account was affiliated with one side of a business dispute.
And they're stalking my YouTube channel, screenshotting things I say. And the one time I made a silly comment about my friend Kyle, they screenshotted and put it all over Twitter.
That had a simple screenshot from a public video, so framing it as stalking her seems a bit hyperbolic at best. 4 and 5 were about a troll. Had nothing at all to do with Katie. And the 6th tweet was someone already accusing me of impersonating her, claiming I was emailing her subscribers. Really, there were only 5 tweets, of which only 3 were even about Katie, when all of these accusations started, and tweets started before the video. The most disturbing claim was not just the stolen logo or supposedly impersonating on Twitter, but that an email associated with this account was impersonating her and contacting her business associates.
That's doxing. Whoever you are doxing me. That is illegal.
I have never doxed her. She repeatedly gave out what she claimed was the email for this account, which actually would be doxing. About 24 hours after the claims were made and I was blocked. There was what seemed to be a direct message claiming to be associated with an email that fit the name of the Twitter account. Again, an actual screenshot of an email was not shared. Turns out that email address didn't work. And furthermore, somebody with far more technical understanding than I have, as far as they could tell, that account never even existed.
And making a website, creating a Facebook page, or creating a Twitter account, or creating a Gmail account with my business name really only shows you that you're the ones that are bullies, you're the ones that are stalkers, you're the ones that are harassers, and you're the ones that will go to levels that are so depraved. I can't even, I don't even understand this.
Like, if that were actually happening, I would feel bad for her, but there wasn't evidence actually provided of that. There was evidence provided that things were exaggerated. Okay to send legions of people after a small channel because they had the audacity to point out the hypocrisy. If he's going to be online getting mad at teeny channels proves he's a bully. I find Katie oftentimes calls other people bullies. However, a lot of her behavior could very easily be seen as bullying.
And by the way, Steve is doing fine. His channel has grown. He's got thousands more than I do. So he's using his power and his influence to intimidate me and to come down on me. What does that say about him? It says nothing good. All I said was, I didn't like him.
She said far more than that, but that's another subject. And that somehow, if he's doing fine, it means she shouldn't have criticism. Saying that he's using his power and influence to intimidate when, again, there was no actual affiliation, but she has repeatedly talked about things being illegal, asked people to report the account, threatened lawsuits. I mean, that's using power and influence to intimidate. There was another attempt to encourage harassment and have people falsely report the account. I don't understand how it can be targeted harassment and bullying when she also acknowledges that she's blocked. She's also threatened somebody who had a Facebook group, a closed Facebook group, saying, my attorney has your information and is aware of who is running this account. Targeted harassment is illegal. That's part of it, is that oftentimes these jumps to making assertions that things are illegal, that people are in legal danger for what they're doing, and it's incorrect. And again, it seems like trying to use power and influence to intimidate, especially when you look at what actual criminal harassment requires. It's confined to state law. The particular person that was targeted in those messages on Facebook isn't even in the USA. Criminal harassment entails intentionally targeting someone else with behavior that is meant to alarm, torment, terrorize. Not all petty annoyances constitute harassment. Most state laws require that behavior cause a credible threat to the person's safety or their family's safety. Now, this account is not in that group. I can't speak on it. At the same time, given how inaccurate a lot of things were represented against it, and that it was a closed Facebook group, it seems understandable to be doubtful. These are excerpts from a video that was made back in April.
What defamation means is that you can't publish things with malicious intent, with the direct intention of inflicting harm on someone, and it can't be false. Nothing I've published about her is false. Then when you add that she's a public figure, defamation laws are even harder to pass, because anyone that lives their life in the public eye, like say you or I, and so when you put your life out there, that means other people have the freedom to speak about you and share their opinions. There's no laws against opinions. There's nothing legally binding about me having an opinion about her, as long as I have things to back up where my opinion came from.
This account has always tried to provide things to back up where its opinions come from. It has never knowingly said anything false or even said anything with any like malicious intent. In fact, it has repeatedly defended Katie. It has repeatedly agreed that, there's no reason to bring her parenting into things, while at the same time acknowledging that since she has written about her son for years, continues to make monetized videos about him, post about him on social media, I do believe it is understandable that people might have questions, especially when there are conflicting and inaccurate reports. The only options aren't positive equals respectful, negative equals defamation. Someone can be respectfully critical, show discrepancies and whatnot.
You can make as many of these complaints against me as you want, but none of it's going to change what I'm doing. Stop saying degrading and hurtful things about people. That you stop spending all of your time online trying to make a cult.
Not entirely the same situation, obviously, but I do find a lot of parallels. Katie has referred to herself repeatedly as a public figure. Nothing that this account has done has been doxing, has been revealing private information. It has all been a critique of public work. And there were only 3 tweets about that at the time that an onslaught of tweets and a video that was over half an hour long made slandering this account, accusing it of illegal activity. Nothing this account has done was illegal, was impersonation, or was defamation. Right now it is primarily on Twitter. YouTube will eventually go into media literacy, critical thinking. Misinformation is an incredibly dangerous trend, as is tribalism. That is part of why I got interested in this particular example in the first place. I do believe that misinformation should be challenged. It can be done respectfully. This is not a call to harass anyone. This is not an attempt to humiliate anyone. This is a response clearing the name and actions of what this account was already humiliated by and lies spread about it.